Hey, what is up, everyone? It's Rich. All right, welcome to Super Fun Sunday. I posted a little thing on Instagram maybe 30 minutes ago and asked for suggestions, and someone suggested Sam Kieth, and you know what? I aims to please. So let's do Sam Kieth. He actually is one of my favorite early artists that when I was getting into comics, and his stuff was just very different. I've got a few books set up to go, so without hesitation and delay, let's do this. What's it gonna be? It's gonna be super fun. And yeah, all right. So we're gonna go through these fast. The Marvel Comics Presents, just because Sam didn't do all the pages in the books. So if it's not Sam Kieth, we're not gonna even talk about it. All right. Beautiful cover. He's got real gritty inks. Not really sure what tools he used. I would assume it's a nib. He may use kind of a smashed up brush. I kind of think he's an all-in sort of person, meaning, you know, whatever sort of can get an effect that he's looking for, he will go for. So, and I've got the aspect ratio on this set to a certain thing so that it captures most of the screen. It's sucks that we can't zoom in, but I can't be digging through my collection looking for these books. It's very difficult. This is beautiful. Man, what a great page. I love this. This is fantastic. Really nice first panel. I love the shot, how he kind of turned it to the side. This is really good. Look, there's a lot of panels on this page. You know, this is, I mean, geez Louise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 panels. He was really efficient with his use of space. And it works. It looks really good. Oh, man, that is nice. Oh, boy. Great call on Sam Kieth. Thank you for the suggestion. This is awesome. Man, that is so cool. You know, people always talk about underrated, overrated, you know, like you always see, especially in YouTube comments, like people will go like, such and such is so underrated, or comment sections on different things. I would argue that Sam, in some ways, is a little underrated. I think that he has a very large body of work, but his prime stuff is really fantastic. This is great right here. You know, it's just really fun to look at. Man, it's great. Beautiful. I mean, it's very stylized anatomy. He's got his lighting cues really down quite well. And this is, I think, it said from 1989. So this is a long time ago. If I'm doing the math right, that's 40 years ago, right? Like, am I tripping? That's a hell of a long time ago. Stuff is vintage. It's cool. Nice hands. This is cute. Oh, this is a nice panel. This is really good. A lot of these guys were probably influenced by like Corbin, Arthur Sidum, Frazetta, you know, 89. It could even be a little Bill Sienkiewicz or Kent Williams. I think we're kind of bubbling up. This is really nice. Very effective way to do something like this. This is awesome. His figure is great. Man, this is awesome. Really good. Okay, and I think that is the end of this book. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Well, let's see if I can go back. Sometimes it doesn't work. Come on. All right, it won't go back. Anyway, we'll get to more of these issues. Anyway, that's a great shot right there. This is really killer. Very McFarlane, or vice versa. This is good too. You know what? There's a little bit of parallels of McFarlane here. Todd would do stuff like this. Hard to say who. Okay, so let's scoot through this. Like I said, we don't want to waste time. You know, the focus is Sam Kieth, so let's stay on that. He did decent run on these. I'm hoping that they're in order. We'll see in a second. Hopefully he's got a story in this. Okay, really nice cover. Not 100% sure who this character is, honestly. But yeah, Sam is good, man. This is really cool. I'm digging it. So Peter David wrote it. Sam Kieth drew it. Oh, that's nice. If I had more time, I would actually check and see if this is stat. It doesn't look like it. Sometimes he might have done it in the original pencils, like flipped it and then just inked it fresh. Because the stuff seems to match up. I get pretty psycho though. I'll like start looking for like pixels, you know, going like, well, there's 2 pixels here, there's 2 pixels there. But this could be a photocopy. He may have drawn this and then flipped it here. Is what it's looking like, maybe. That's really cool. Oh, nice page. Man, it would be great to have these again in like an artist edition of some sort. I think that they might have done some sort of Sam Kieth artist edition. I don't know if they went back into this. I mean, the key is finding the originals, though. That's the trick. Turning this into black and white just by basically fiddling with old files isn't going to cut it. That's really, really nice. You're just not going to get the quality that you would from scanning the originals. But then the trick is hunting down all the original art. That's really, really cool too. Man, this guy is really clever with his techniques. Yeah, smart application of things. His originals are wild too. I mean, you can really tell he goes in and is not precious with the stuff. This is really nice. Again, real nice lighting. He's got double lighting here, but it's pretty consistent throughout the figure. Nice rendering here. Really, really good. And again, kind of McFarlane-esque. Or vice versa. And what do I always say? I hope everyone is having a nice Sunday. And if you're not, hopefully this will put it on point. Could see Jay Lee probably being a little bit influenced by this. And Jay actually did some work in Marvel Comics Presents. That's really nice. Man, that is great. But yeah, if anyone knows any other Sam Kieth influences, put them in the comments section. I'd be curious to know who else he may have been inspired by. I may be forgetting some. Sometimes this is really good. Man, it's kind of Michael Golden-ish. That is nice. Nicey nice. All right, let's hustle through this. Marvel Comics Presents had some really good stuff. You know, if someone gave me a run of them, you know, the whole run, I would totally take them and flip through them. I think even the stuff that maybe isn't drawn that good, there's still a point of interest because it's a pretty prime time in comics. Man, that is great. All right, so we're at 7 minutes. I just don't want to lag too hard. Got some surprises up my sleeve here that people may not have ever seen. This is cool. This is a nice cover. You know, what's cool about it, too, I'm going to say right now, is, like, it's got a little bit of a Frazetta feel, but what he didn't do that was Frazetta-ish is he didn't take Frazetta's little pyramid layout. He was able to be really creative with how he set this shot up to make it unique. And I'm not saying that he's influenced by Frazetta. My point is that sometimes your layout process is what makes you unique. You may not have the most original style, but where it becomes problematic with some artists, oh man, this is great. I don't know if I've ever even seen this before. Or, you know, this looks a little familiar. But it's when you take the finish off people's work, you take the way that they draw faces out of the work, you take the way that you lay out, and there's nothing really unique of you, and you're never gonna really you're never gonna be yourself. So Sam is just kind of blends all this stuff so well. I've met him briefly at Wildstorm. I think he came in one time, but he's a pretty low-key guy, so I didn't really press him too much, but this is beautiful here, too. He was, you know what, seeing this stuff now, he actually was a very, very big influence on me when I first started collecting comics. I did a trading card way back in the day for the Max set, of all things. It's funny because it's a little Frazetta-ish and it's a little Sam Kieth-ish. And at the time, I really wasn't very conscious of like what my influences were. But seeing this stuff now, I'm definitely remembering that time and the impact that had. Gosh, this is a great page. It's a shame it's so muddy, but it kind of works in a weird way too. This is really, really cool. Man, that is great. What a layout. This is what comics could be now. This is the problem. This is what bothers me sometimes, is comics is such a creative field, and I'm not nostalgic. Like I don't have any sort of vested interest in like, oh, it never got better than the 80s. But I can go to a comic book store and pick up 50 comics, and I'm telling you, I'm not going to find much stuff that's very interesting, and that's problematic. It's one of the problems that comics has right now is there's nothing. There's not, sorry, I don't mean nothing, but there's not enough that's interesting and unique and drawn at a high level to keep people coming in and freaking out. I mean, there's a reason that all these guys ended up being legends. And it's before my time. This is way before I was even aware that comics were still even being made. This is really cool. But you know, you could show something like this, or a Todd McFarlane page from back then, or a Jim Lee piece, and even if you're not a comic book fan, there's a chance that they would find it interesting based on the drawings. I don't know if you can say that about a lot of the stuff that's published now. That there's something that has an appeal to someone who isn't into it. This is really, really nice. But maybe I'm wrong. I actually, on Patreon, we did a really, really fun thing over yesterday. I did actually a storyteller spotlight on Sean Gordon Murphy that's about 40 minutes long, from Batman White Knight. But then we did a new artist spotlight, and I did a video that was, again, about 45 minutes long, that focused on about 20 brand new artists that are really good, that have all been working about 3 to 5 years. So yeah, the tip jars are set up. $1, $3, and $5 gets you full access to about 70 unlisted videos and about 200 posts on my Patreon. There's a ton of stuff, so it's well worth checking out. I'll have a link in the description below, but here we go. Really beautiful. He's a great inker on this himself. You know, I can't picture Sam's work being done any other way. This is nice. Bacalo is another guy that you could like show his work to someone who's probably not a comic book fan, and there's a level of interest. Scotty Young is from a different generation than these guys, but I think he's another one that has kind of like a mass appeal right out of the gate. J. Scott Campbell, and hopefully that there's a brand new breed of artists that come in that the companies are willing to let cut loose, do something cool. There's room for everyone. Not everyone has to be like avant-garde and stuff. That's awesome. Really, really interesting layouts here. Works though. It's got a beautiful sweep right there. This is cool. But yeah, I mean, and if you ever hear interviews with McFarlane in particular, because I think he's out there more than Kieth, you know, he'll talk about like how the editors didn't like him doing some of the stuff that he did, and ultimately those ended up being some of his most iconic like licks in his work. So you know, yeah, you sometimes have to fight for it. This is interesting. Very tiny panels. He's not wasting time on this. You see, though, it's pretty minimal detail, and he saves his more intricate stuff for the bigger shots. It's smart. This looks like photocopy. Bacalo would do this, where he'd get on a Xerox machine and kind of swish it around. You could do it now in Photoshop with like the liquify filter or a transform warp. But that's really cool. Yeah, it's Photoshop and those things are really, really fun. You can get some really cool like Xerox type effects with them. Oh, I love comics. Good comics are so great. Oh, that's crazy. This is really cool too. Oh man, that is nice. It's hard for me to see where his face was at first. I was expecting him to be a side view here, but he's not. This is really good. Man, Wolverine, you've got some moxie in this book. It has a great panel too. Again, tough to read a little bit, but really, really beautiful. This is nice. Oh man, that is such a good page. Wow. Oh man, what a great page. That is really, really nice. The whole thing. Wow. Oh, that's cool too. Well, as long as these Marvel comics are looking so nice, let's just keep rolling through these. We can always do a part 2 Sam Kieth if we need to, but like I said, I've got, I think, 3 or 4 other books lined up after this, and so we'll see what we can get through. These are so nice, though. I mean, it's hitting all the sort of awesome Sam Kiethisms anyway, so we'll at least do one more after this, because I know that the next book is him, too. Really, really cool. Look at this nice little pattern he did with this. This is good. Great pose. Cat's all chilling. And look, this is another thing I would point out for this is there's an organic feel to his stuff that he's getting because he probably laid this stuff out on paper. And when you lay out stuff in Manga Studio and you're using like perspective grid tools and all that, you're stiffening up your stuff, and it's something that I caught very, very quickly in my heavy metal story, and I wasn't using perspective grids in Manga Studio, to be clear, but I would lay out my stuff in Photoshop, so I would move things around a lot, and try to size them to just the perfect size. And it's an interesting way to work, but it can create some stiffness in the pieces. So it's something that I'm gonna slowly wean myself off of, because I think sometimes the awkwardness and sort of organicness of a natural layout works better. There's little anomalies that are not subliminal, but you know what I mean, little X factors that can sort of amplify the cool factor and stuff. It's like if it looks overly manicured, it kind of feels overly manicured. Again, nothing is what do you call it, like a totality. Interesting. I have never seen this. Sam may not have worked inside this book. Yeah, he didn't. All right, so we'll hustle through this fast. He did one more, though, I think, after this issue, and then we'll get to another book. But yeah, when I say stuff like that, look, there's always exceptions to the rule, but you know, oh yeah, this is nice. It's funny. This character reminds me of like the Tick, or a little bit like a character that was in the Dave Sim Cerebus book, the Roach. I don't even know what he was called. I can't remember. I think he's the Roach. Oh man! Again in black and white. This looks so killer. I love it. Bacalo back then. We should do like an early Bacalo Super Fun Sunday, because he really got kind of wild with this stuff too. This is nice. So yeah, Marvel Comics presents right around issues 85 to around 92 or 3. Oh, that's really cool. You've got a nice chunk of Sam Kieth that might be worth seeking out. Okay, so let's try a different book. We're gonna do... I'm not doing the Max. The Max is too obvious. We'll do the first issue of Sandman. So this is Sam Kieth. I'm not really 1989. This is probably before. Okay, wow. So this is kind of Wrightson-y. Not necessarily that he was influenced by Wrightson. Oh, maybe so. But the content leans it that way too. You can see his inks aren't as crazy, but still very, very nice. This is cool. Can probably post like, oh no, it's drawn. That's nice. That would take a long time to fill in the blacks. He probably, no. Tough to say. I'd have to see the original, but yeah, this would be time-consuming stuff. Really, really great page. Man, that's nice. This is nice too. Great layout. Love this. Yeah, this has definitely got a Wrightson vibe. He was looking at some EC horror maybe before, which I can't blame him. And I'm sure a lot of people were all sort of doing similar things at that point, because the horror and sci-fi stuff had a big boom, probably in the 70s, when Sam was a kid and getting into art. Man, that's nice. Wow. You know, Vertigo still, I think, sometimes publishes stuff that's is kind of interesting as this. That's crazy. So Mike Dringenberg inked this, I guess. Interesting. Did a nice job. I mean, it's, hard to say what Sam's pencils look like. This looks like it was recolored. These may have been recolored. It's not that big of a deal. This is nice, man. And then it kind of makes you curious of, this looks a little like, maybe more like Sam inked it himself. Really, really cool layouts and just interesting effects and things that he uses. Well, I hope this is fun. We got a really, really good book coming up next. We'll do... I'll just kind of hustle through this. It's not as refined as the Marvel Comics Presents, so it's just kind of cool to get a gist of this. You can always slow down the video if you want to check out the pages more, or pause. There you go. This is nice. Strong figure drawing here. This is really good. It's got to be recolored. There's no way. Yeah, it's a lot of panels. Really cool. This kind of stuff is actually pretty fun to lay out. This is really good. This is nice too, all those very interesting shapes he's creating. Very nice. Ooh, this is so fun. I learned so much doing these videos. You've got to check out Patreon, man. I'm telling you, the videos that I have up there, 70 videos. It's insane. There's so much good stuff. Okay, so let's go to this. This is Aliens. He did Alien Earth Wars. Stuff is pretty cool. And this is, I don't know what year this would have been. Maybe 89 again. It's a busy bee. So this is Sam Kieth doing all the art, which will probably benefit us a bit. That's nice. Really, really nice page. I bought these the last time I was at a comic book store. They had a big sale going on in their back issue bins, and I went through and I bought all these issues. And I don't regret it, because I love Alien. I love Sam Kieth, especially this era. This is really, really beautifully done. Again, all that black is really time consuming. Oh man, this is so nice. Newsprint too, man. I'm telling you, it's a sexy, sexy medium for comic book art. That glossy paper sometimes just doesn't make it look as good. This is really good. Very Wally Wood. Again, that EC Comics sort of flavor, it really nails it. This is great. Junk Tech. It's funny because my story that I did was sci-fi, so now when I look at all this stuff, I'm like, oh man, I should have done that. Should have had a little more of that. I am a storyteller now. I'm inking one final book for Iron Maiden. It's a 6-issue miniseries, and I'm working with Joe Casey on a brand new book that we're gonna publish through Image Comics. So it's pretty exciting, and I get to design everything really from the ground up. You know, Joe sends me the ideas and the characters and what the content is, and I'm getting to make it all up. It's pretty wild. This is really cool. But I'll let you know more about that as it comes on. Oh, it's totally Alien. That's nice. Again, very, very classic Frazetta. You know, Al Williamson. Oh man, that's so nice. This is really cool effect he got. It like almost feels like Zipatone, but it's a little hard for me to tell what's going on here. They have Zipatone that has lines. This could be, and then you can white out little areas. He may have placed that over it. It's almost like just pinstripes, you know, that go across. Really, really looks cool though. Wow. Yeah, and then he used a little Zipatone here too. Man, that's so sick. There's some Zipatone. Oh, this is so good. I love pages like this. Oh, that's very Jeff Jones. Oh. He probably had the studio book. I think way back I did a Super Fun Sunday on the studio book. We could always revisit it though. This is nice. Sorry, I'm like hiccuping. Oh man, look at that. Dude. It's like airbrush. This guy was nuts. It could be a Zipatone thing. A little white splatter, a little black splatter. Wow, dude. I bought a really nice Japanese airbrush a couple of years ago. God, that is great too. Damn. Dude, we're crushing this Super Fun Sunday. You know, if you could do me a favor, share my channel or share a link to my Patreon. So I'm really trying to build the channel. It's I'm not frustrated, but I would love to see this channel grow, and I think that man, it's definitely an undiscovered gem for people that are into comics. So yeah, if you can, give me a nudge out there in the real world. Get more people here. That's really nice. Oh man, his alien's great. This guy was a busy bee in '89. This is like you're working all the time. That's really cool. Yep, he is really, really talented. What time are we at? 25 minutes. Let's keep going. Come on. I think this is a 4-issue miniseries, so we'll go through another one. Give us a sec to load. Nice cover. This is John Bolton cover. Really, really good. Boom. That's a nice page. Man. Ooh, looks like cross-hatching. Almost look like Zipatone under her nose. It's a little hard to tell from the skin. I don't know. Man, that's nice. I'm learning a lot looking at this stuff. Man. That's really cool, too. Oh, comics. I love you. That's really cool. Look at that room. God, they could just reprint all this stuff in black and white and full size. It would look so good. I want everything in a big book, scanned off the originals. Can we work on that, universe? I want to wake up tomorrow to a world filled with big books. Well, they're expensive, but you know, you get 1 or 2 a year. Spoil yourself and save up for them. That's what I do. It's like, I have one more that I can get from IDW for a trade that I did with one of the guys that works there. Okay, car, seriously? Who drives down the street freaking blaring their horn? Lame. That's a nice face. Oh, this is cool. I like that. Interesting. He doesn't really go that simple that often, but it does look nice. But it's interesting. Man, that is great right there. That's some creepy stuff right there. This is nice. Wow. Yeah, it's interesting now that I'm penciling and inking myself, because like there's so much decision making involved, which I actually enjoy. I really do actually like. I like the problem solving involved in it. I like the creative side of it. And then I love to learn. And so, you know, like as hard as I tried on that first story, and I really wanted to make it look great, it's like you see real quick, like, you know, it's only a 10-page story, but you're like, oh man, I could have done that like this, but you can't really regret it. You just have to sort of embrace that, like, hey, you know what, it's your first short story. You tried the best that you could, and you're going to fight the battle on the next story, the next page, and every new page is an opportunity for you to kind of like up your game. So it doesn't bother me, but yeah, you see stuff and you go, oh, you know what, I should probably be thinking of, it's not so much like I'm not, there's a level of consistency in the level of detail that he's doing that I like. This is really crazy. So yeah, it's important to have a balance in your art and not look like you're having like an identity crisis as you're working through stuff. But I think any new artist, this is a Bolton cover again. This is nice. His pieces are really cool. Okay, so let's go through one of these. Oh, that's really cool. What do we got? We're 29 minutes. Okay, so we'll go 10 more minutes. This will be a nice, long, super fun Sunday. These things take forever to process. It locks my computer down for like 2.5 hours. Oh man, that would be a cool double page spread. This is really, really sick. Oh, I like it. Oh man, God. See, when you see really good comics like this, like, you know, a contemporary artist that gets me excited when they do a good job, like Olivier Coipel, when he was doing more regular work. I mean, he did the Magic Order recently, but before that, I wouldn't see his stuff very often. But then I would catch up. You know, I would go to the comic book store and grab whatever issues they had left, and his work always got me really, really excited about drawing stories. And it was actually really cool. I'm going to tip my hat to Sean Gordon Murphy. Again, I did a storyteller spotlight on him yesterday for Patreon, but he has a comment on his Instagram, and I've put a follow on him yesterday. I hadn't followed him on Instagram yet. And he wrote, like, I draw the insides of the Batman comic book, and I appreciate that comment because I'm so tired of seeing variant covers and people that it's like, I did this cover, I did that cover, I did this cover, I did that cover. Part of doing comics is this, stories. So I appreciate talented artists that are willing to do the work and tell the stories. So Sean Gordon Murphy gets my mad respect for saying that, because I think in the back of his mind, the reason that he said that, it's a little bit of a passive aggressive jab at the people that don't, but rightfully so, because this is what fuels the covers. And I'm not saying that the people that are doing variant covers need to be doing the insides, but there's nothing that annoys me more than when I'm doing the insides of a book and the penciler that I work with isn't afforded the opportunity to do their own cover. That I do not like. It's one thing if I ink it or not, because a lot of people want to ink their own covers now. I won't have to deal with that as much anymore, but yeah, past that, I don't think it's fair that the person that does the interiors doesn't do their own covers. I don't like it. I mean, a good variant cover is what it is, but or hiring a cover artist, but it's a letdown. If you see a nice cover and then the inside isn't drawn that nice, that's a fail. And if you love the person that's doing the insides and they don't get to do the cover, I think that's a fail too. It's really cool. That's nice. And it's very Sam Keith. Okay, so let's do this. This is going to be a fun book. So this is called I Before E, and this is Fantagraphics Press. And I'm going to guess that he maybe did this before he broke into big comics. We'll see if we can find a date. 88. Yeah, okay, so this is before that. I actually own these too. I found them in back issue bins years ago. I thought this would be interesting to look at. I have no idea what the art really looks like in it, so could be a bit of a grab bag, but very nice layout. It's always fun to see the early work and see where it kind of came from. And then we'll do one more after this. I've got something lined up. Okay, so interesting. It's always interesting to see when it's kind of Will Eisner-ish. That's funny, and it's got a little bit of like a Robert Crumb kind of thing going on, like underground comics. Man, this is cool though. It's different. A little Mad Magazine too, like Don Martin with those long faces, and see a little of the Sam Keith creeping in. Yeah, it's fun to see artists' early work and see what they retain in the work as they move along. Whoa, what in the world happened there? Oh, okay. It's funny that like 2 years later he would render the crap out of it. That's actually cool. It's kind of an is. It's a reverse is, a white is. It's kind of cool. Yeah, this is totally like, man, this is like underground San Francisco. 84. That's even older. Or maybe it said 89, but yeah, that's a great shot right there. Kind of writes in Frankenstein. This guy was a busy bee, man. That's how he got so good, though, is drawing all this stuff. That's really nice right here. Yeah, it was funny as I was thinking about this morning. I was sort of half asleep, and I was thinking about drawing and stuff like that. And honestly, the one thing that you have to do is you have to keep drawing. You have to keep moving. You have to keep stumbling and picking yourself up and drawing more. And that's how you get really, really good at drawing. So don't hesitate. Don't second guess it. You need to be a body in motion. All right, so let's go. We're going to do one more Marvel Comics Presents. If he did one, we'll see what happens. Because we're running out of time, so he may not be in anymore. Oh, yeah, okay. This is a really good issue, and I'm pretty sure he drew the guts. Yeah, all right, cool, perk. This will be a good one to end on. Colors are super bright. This is a very saturated scan, but a little tough to tell what's going on in this panel here. That's nice. Oh, look at that anatomy. He's rippling. Rippling. Well, this is very inspiring. That's great. Oh man, that's really cool. Look at that. That is so nice. Okay, so let's see if... Well, what's this one? Let's do one more alien issue. He seems to be delivering the goods on us pretty. What do we got? Oh, we're only at 36 minutes. Yeah, we got 4 minutes. Let's do this. All right, and another time I can do the Max. The Max was so obvious of a choice that I wanted to pick some things that maybe people hadn't seen from Sam Kieth that I considered either a point of interest because they were so early in his career, or things that you may not have seen that have the quality that you want. This is really great. Yep, that's nice. Man, this guy's so good. Let's see a little bit of the Bernie Wrightson structure with this guy. It's nice. Silvestri has a lot of this in his stuff. It's very, very difficult to learn to draw based on this kind of shape thing, but if you can learn a little bit of the real stuff, and then when you look at this, you can extrapolate more. This is nice. Really cool. Man, you get so many good textures. And that's real heavy-handed, like on a black and white art. I mean, that would look very, very crudely put down, but he's got a nice balance throughout. Like this sort of helps that work, and yeah, it doesn't stand out too bad. That's nice. Would have been really interesting to see his whole process when he worked on this stuff. Like, do you have comic books out all over his desk, or was he like at night when he was done drawing, like kind of cross-referencing things? And again, it's not like now where you could go online and get like Alien reference or throw, you know, the DVD on your computer and grab screenshots and stuff like that. I mean, this guy had to like muscle this stuff out, and you know, you maybe had an Alien, you know, like the Giger book or something like that, but you know, you'd go to the library or whatever. It's like, man, these guys had to hustle. You can see the level of detail, and it's a little more crudely drawn. He was running out of time. Still looks good. He's got his confidence with drawing all this stuff, so he's able to knock it out fast. This is very Jeff Jones. Man, that's great. That's really, really good. Yeah, let me know what you guys think of this video. Did you like the stuff that you saw? Like, was it interesting? You know. And again, if you're interested in seeing new artists, I did like a 45-minute on Patreon yesterday, 45-minute video on Patreon yesterday, where we only looked at new artists, and it was really, really fun. And some of them are real good. I mean, some of them are people that have been drawing for a long time, but have only in the last few years come into American comics. And then others are really new. There was 3 female artists we talked about. It was really cool. Really, really cool. I'm going to definitely go and follow a lot of those artists on different social media to keep up with their work, because that's what I want to see. Is I want to see the new talent pool that's coming in, you know, because that's what I'm a part of. Is the new storytellers, the people that are going to be drawing comics the next 10 years. And this stuff is great to look, go back and look at, but yeah, the peer group that we're all falling into next is the people that are drawing now. Okay, cool. All right, well, smash the like. Please share this if you can, and thank you so much for coming by, and have a super fun Sunday. All right, later.